episode where we'll be discussing the houses October built because we're getting in.
Well, we'll be recording the houses October built, and then it'll air the week after.
Yeah, we'll be recording.
So,
yeah. So that'll be the
keep
week
an
after
eye out.
next.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find out some information on that film, not to get too sidetracked from where we're supposed to be. But I thought, well, how many people have seen this, or how many people talk about it? And then I discovered, looking through podcasts, there's a shit ton of people talking about it. And I was going through and I noticed, what's that shirtless comedian, Bert Kirshner?
I think so. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he did a review on it, and I was really happy to see that he get to the part where my scene was, right, and Bert says the guy from that scene could be a professional actor.
I bet that felt so cool. Oh my gosh!
I was like, what?
I would have been beaming to hear that from. I mean, like someone in the business.
Yeah, he's a pretty big deal.
We try to make things happen from our little town, but opportunity is few and far between lately.
Yeah.
So, also, like, even just to be an extra, you got to be able to spend all day on set, and that's kind of hard to do when you have a 3-year-old.
Right.
4-year-old.
But I think, like, back then when it was one of those nights we went, and I ran into this film crew, and they were like, hey, you want to be in our movie? We're shooting tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. Thinking I'm going to be a background extra or some shit. And they're like, oh, no, we got dialogue for you right in front of the camera. And then come to find out the film had a 6-week run in theaters.
Now, you got this spot because of your role when you were acting in the haunted house that we met at. What character were you playing when you met them? Were you doing the morgue, or were you doing the cabin?
I was in the surgery room, but I think
that's what it was, the surgery room.
Well, that was back when there were a few of us acting, so I would run all over the house.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys had a lot more rain. You kind of bounced with whatever you could reach, Yeah. I do miss that part of it, because actually, like, haunt season starting up, I have my audition scheduled, and I've been even helping them do, like, training auditions and stuff like that. And I got to do, like, some of the old school scare acting that I used to do in the house. Now it's so different. My role, like Morgan's so different. Like, the character I play is just, like, very talky.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get down and dirty and on my knees again. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it sounds good for this episode, actually.
Yeah, it actually does.
No, I think it was 2011 when those guys came and shot those scenes. The film didn't get distribution until like 2014.
Oh, yeah.
And they were shooting long before that. It was one of those documentary films that turned into a found footage film.
Yeah.
And I think by the time I got involved, they had a script made. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to be a background guy. That's cool. And it's like, oh, no, you're not. Because one of the owners of Rise, Mindy, said, volunteered me for the role.
I think it's valid. I really do think, I agree. I do think you have a very, like, really great way of, like, I don't know, replicating the exact character that you have in mind. You really undervalue yourself as an actor. I really think you should give yourself more credit, because I remember, like, how terrifying you were when you were at the haunt in the shack when I had met you.
Right.
And you made people shit themselves all the time. You had a skill saw, so it's pretty.
Skill saw, then I would jump the chainsaw.
Yeah, then chainsaw. Yeah, you were jumping all over the place. You were just a scary looking fucker. You had, like, the metal chains on your back and, like, the vest, and you had just, like, blood smeared all over you. Like, you looked badass. You were easily. That's why that's how I was so attracted to that.
Yeah. I think I had, that leather vest. That was my, back when I was riding Harleys and shit like that.
You still rode when we met, like, you would ride the bike to the haunt.
Right.
I
Sometimes,
remember
yeah.
sometimes, not all the time.
But I took that vest and I think I put chains on it and then dirtied it up really crazy and created like this. I didn't want to be a fucking zombie or some other. Yeah, I wanted to be like a living psycho.
Hmm.
So they let me run with that, and I enjoyed it. And then I had a little bit of dialogue during those
Yeah,
years.
he had some lines with Leanne. What, right? It was Leanne or no? No, no, no. It
That was
was Leanne's the character now.
yeah, but
But yeah,
little
Bailey's
Bailey,
character.
yeah, Bailey,
But yeah, y'all had a great, and y'all had such a great scene. I really did enjoy. That was such a. If it weren't for the power tools, I would have lived in that scene. I can't. That's the one thing in a haunted house that fucks with me
yeah,
is power tools. I'm like, ooh, like
right.
so.
But there's like quite a few things happened within the first 3 or 4 years of that place when I was involved in it. Like
Mhm.
with the night that Will Smith and Margot Robbie
I'm
came,
so pissed that I missed that
they
night.
came, um, and they yelled at me from the catwalk above, and they were like, "Hey, you got some VIPs coming through. You're not going to believe who this is." I'm thinking, wait, it's gonna be another reality star or some shit. And
Yeah, we had like a few like pretty decent names, I guess, but like it was like swamp people
right,
because they live by us.
well, it was Sons of Guns show. They were the first
Yeah.
VIPs, and I think, and then after that, it was a surprise visit from Margot Robbie and Will Smith. I had no idea who Margot was at the time. They were shooting the film Focus
Yeah.
in New Orleans, and they had went to the House of Shock, which is now
They
closed
should
down.
count their blessings that they got to experience the House of Shock before it closed its doors.
A lot of people should, but House of Shock is was sold, and now it's New
New
Orleans.
Orleans Nightmare.
Yeah,
I haven't even stepped foot in there, to be honest. I always like missed it. Everybody goes to there, like when we get a night. And I know they were talking about it in the group chat, like, we're gonna go to other haunts. I want to go to the one in Homa
mm-hmm.
this year.
No, Decomposed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Decomposed. That's our friend Chrissy and John's place, and I'm really excited to see what they got going down. And I'm from there, so
yeah. That's in Thibodeau, ain't it?
it's in Homa.
Oh, it's in Homa.
I think
Okay,
Chrissy's from Thibodeau, but no, it's in Homa.
okay,
Like it's actually not that far from Mom's. It's probably about 15 minutes up the road.
okay.
So you know, nice little location there, and it's like super creepy. I know the road it's on. I'm like, that's like the perfect spot. I can't believe no one ever thought about that. We always go to the gate. We always go to 13th Gate every year, and then I get hammered at the Brickyard after every.
Yeah, but
But yeah, so we're gonna definitely be going out to other haunts, but I'm really excited that I got to at least we all that Margot and Will got to experience that, and they got to experience Rise.
right.
And you scared the shit out of Margot.
Yeah, Margaret wasn't happy with me.
Yeah.
Um, she was backed into a corner, and I'm like, man. And they had their security guard with them, right?
Hmm.
This is like this is right before they were doing Suicide Squad. She had just done Wolf of Wall Street, which I hadn't seen it yet. So, and they were talking about her, and I'm like, I don't know who she is. I remember she was cute. She was short. She didn't have a lot of makeup on. She looked nothing like you see,
Yeah.
like with the Barbie film and
Yeah, she's
everything.
probably like low key. Which,
Yeah,
trust me, Margot
I
is
think
now
she had a Kiss shirt on and like a flannel over that.
yeah.
Uh, Will Smith, he was dressed in like this button-down shirt. He was dressed to the nines. And the film was like set in the 90s or something like that, early 90s, I think what Focus was. So his haircut was kind of like the Fresh Prince look.
Bet I love that.
But I heard
I
him.
remember,
I
yeah,
can,
his laugh was so iconic, and he was cracking the fuck up in that place,
yeah.
like having the best time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I
I'm
remember.
glad you had a good time, Will.
I remember because I could hear him coming, and I was working in the morgue, and in the body rack room, you could hear that laugh. I'm like, that's fucking Will Smith, because you know that laugh was. And sure enough, and it's like his bodyguard comes first, and he's this humongous guy, right? Well, the place I pop out of is right next to the body. The what do you call it?
The
The
body rack.
yeah, right around that area. And I come out, and
Yeah, that's right. It was the
the
body.
security guard backs almost jumps over the table with the dead body on it. He runs out the fucking room, leaving me, Will, and her, Margot. And my scene was I would jump on the table, so I jumped up on the table and just stared her down. And then I jumped off the table right towards her, and she was backed into a corner. Will Smith was fucking dying. He was like, "Dude, you got him good." And that was like the first
Oh,
time I got to perform for people that were, I guess you would say, big name.
yeah.
You know.
I was so pissed off because I had to work at Domino's that night and couldn't get off of work until 9:30. And I'm driving up, and as my blinker is on to turn into the parking lot, okay, and two black SUVs pull out of the driveway. And I go and I park, and I'm like, whatever. I'm like, God, I hope don't smell like pizza in my scene. That's all I'm thinking about. And then I get in and I park and I walk in, and Mindy's like, you just missed it. Will Smith was here. And I was like, I swear, what's the opposite of having a horseshoe up your ass? Because I
Well,
really
that
felt
was like
like
that was a crazy night in terms of like VIPs because Phil Anselmo from Pantera
he comes through a lot of
he
nights,
came
though.
through
He
every
came through,
year.
yeah, for a while. He hasn't come through in a while.
No, I think he's on the road with Pantera a lot with a Pantera tribute group. I guess you
Because
can say.
let me tell you, the last time the one time I actually got to perform for him, um they had me in a scene that was not my normal scene, but someone had dropped, and they didn't tell me at all what the fuck I was supposed to do. They were like, "Here, work with it." And I was like, "Okay." And I was still pretty new at this point. I was not that established. I hadn't figured myself out yet. And I flopped so bad. And he was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's another mom dying over her dead kid. We get it. And I was like, I could do better than this, I promise.
Well, he appreciates Rise. I've talked to him a few times
No,
about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
and he's a big supporter of that haunt. And if he's ever in the area, I promise you he'll stop in.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was kind of like the uh, good little experience of my life. I getting to perform for that, and then getting the chance to be in a film
Yeah.
because of that.
And
I
now you're
haven't been.
making, you're not acting, but you're still like, you're making sounds
Well,
for the
I'm
haunt. You're going to.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing more sound,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool because I could work from home.
Yeah.
I don't have to like. I mean, I'm gonna go there obviously to get a feel for
Oh,
the
yeah.
room itself and look and
Honestly,
see what sounds best in it. You know.
yeah. I don't see why you can't just like come in and come walk through one day during like especially rehearsals are going to start soon. So you can just
Yeah.
like, um,
Well, I plan on it.
building will be open and you can get a vibe for it. And I talked to Allison, and I think it'll be sick. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to have you back in the game, you know, kind of in a way that also allows us to have childcare.
Right.
That helps.
But
I appreciate you for that.